Alrighty, here we are in the Gateway Pundit. Victory for family battling state efforts to steal their 175-year-old family farm. Well, let's get into it. The state of New Jersey's efforts to bulldoze a 175-year-old family farm in the name of affordable housing by stealing the property through eminent domain. So eminent domain is where the government can say, we need your land for X reason, so we're going to take it, basically. NJ.com reported that Chris Henry stood before the Cranberry Township Committee, pleading with officials not to rip his family's heritage from the soil their great-grandfather purchased in 1850. The Henry family, whose parents both served in World War II and whose mother's name is etched into the town's war memorial, is now watching bureaucrats prepare to seize their 21-acre farm by force. Despite the property's agricultural use, because it's being used by a rancher to grow food and produce, and historical importance. Yeah, I would say it's historically important. It's 175 years old. You would think it'd be protected under cultural heritage. But, gotta have those affordable houses, right? And the thing about those affordable houses, I have a creeping suspicion that they'll probably be taken up by people who aren't even citizens. Dare I say H-1B visa holders? I don't know, it's just a suspicion of mine. I might be wrong. Good thing it didn't go through, right? All of this just to meet a state-mandated housing quota pushed by far-left courts and Trenton bureaucrats. Yeah, bureaucrats don't care about family heritage or the fact that both his parents or their parents served in World War II. Just, to have their family home seized by the government to build what? Affordable housing. The family has poured over $200,000 into preserving the historic farm, which is currently leased to a local rancher who raises sheep and cattle. So that's 200 grand that they're not going to get back. Meanwhile, if the government wanted to, they could just keep going, because the government has an endless coffer. I'm pretty sure that's what politicians do when they're faced with situations like this. They know that the individual only has a set amount of money, so all they have to do is bury them in legal fees. Fox News reports that the battle is finally over as the township and the farm owners reached an agreement. It's been our legacy for 175 years, and all of my ancestors struggled to get through all kinds of crises. The house burning down, the Great Depression, so to be able to keep it as we always wanted to is such a blessing, said Henry family. Farm co-owner and manager Andy Henry, who joined Fox and Friends Weekend alongside his brother Christopher. Before the conflict was resolved, U.S. Department of Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins shared a post on X advocating for stopping the seizure of the land. So I'm going to say that that's probably why the township stopped. They were like, oh crap, Secretary of Agriculture is stepping in? Yeah, we better stop. Alright, I'm going to throw a video in of manager Andy Henry from Fox. Alright, here we go.
A lot of people got involved in this. The agricultural secretary, Brooke Rollins, as well as gubernatorial candidate Jack Ciattarelli as well. Were you surprised by the amount of people who kind of came to your defense in this?
I'll admit I was a little bit surprised. However, I'm pretty sure that if the Secretary of Agriculture didn't step in, the township would have gone through with their plans, like I said earlier. Say what you want about the stuff that's happening in the Middle East, but saving this 175-year-old farm, I would count that as a Trump W.
Oh, absolutely, we were. I mean, it started in our own town with people doing social media posts and getting together and inviting me to meetings like, come on over, we're going to have a meeting about saving your farm. Oh, okay, I'll be there. Wait a minute. We're going to have a meeting to prepare for the meeting about saving your farm. Oh, okay, we'll do that. And the news has just really helped us get the publicity. And I do certainly want to thank Secretary Rollins and the working group she has. And it's not just about saving our farm. It's hopefully about helping other farmers preserve their farm as well, this working group.
So when he talked about saving other people's farms, I found this comment. S. Fox, the battle may have been won, but the war against small family farms is ongoing, be it under the guise of affordable housing or the Green New Scam. Leftists are not going to willingly end the war unless forced to by force. The whole, you'll own nothing and be happy, I suppose. The original purpose of eminent domain was to secure land to build municipal facilities. I would say that's even bad too. Like schools and or infrastructure, road, right-of-ways, sewers, bridges, etc. This is a good and proper use of the power to force sale of property that benefits all. Me personally, I would scratch municipal facilities like schools off of that eminent domain. Infrastructure like roads, yeah, I could understand wanting to build a road straight through rather than having to go around, because having to go around a great big farm would be very costly in both man hours and money and resources. Sewers can go underneath farms, can't they? Like under the ground. So I don't see why you'd have to seize somebody's land to build a sewer. You just say, hey, can we dig a trench to put in a sewer, and then we'll fill it in and you can go back to farming on top of it. Just, we kind of need to build a sewer. And you don't have to actually seize their land. As for bridges, I can't think of an example for bridges, but anyway. However, the legal concept has been expanded to the point that cities, etc. can force the sale of property that benefits private for profit companies, etc. A good example of how expansive the principle is now is the Santa Barbara, CA Channel Islands. These were long-held ranch properties that the state decided needed to be forced to sell as to preserve them as open space, and all improvements removed other than some housing for caretakers, state employees, and researchers. So in other words, they're turning agricultural areas into environmental preserves, nature preserves. So what's going to happen when you turn all your farmland into affordable housing and nature preserves? I wonder who's gonna grow your food to feed your nation. Oh right, it's not a who, it's a what. Great big corporations. As that commenter said, there's a war on family farms. Well anyway, I saw this article on the Gateway Pundit and I was like, hey, you know what? Some good news for once. Let's make a video about it. Anyway, take care out there in Clown World.